Alrighty, folks, welcome back to That's Just My Opinion. I am Merlin, and today we will be discussing Fires of Vengeance, Book 2 of the Burning series by Evan Winters. So, again, this book is still relatively newer, so I am going to refrain on the mega spoilers. I know, 2 in a row without mega spoilers, woo! So, this one is good. I'm reserving a lot of judgment right now because there's going to be a third book. I can tell you that with how this ends, there is going to be a third book in this series. So I'm reserving a lot of judgment because right now the middle book or the middle part of any kind of trilogy usually feels really weak when you don't have the entire trilogy to look at as a whole. So that's why I am reserving my full judgment on this until we get the whole story. But I will still give you my thoughts just on this as an independent story. So this is the continuation of picking up pretty much exactly where the last book left off, with Tao now being named champion to Queen Sayori, and he's gonna go kill Obasi Odili because Odili is raising up a rebel faction, propping up Siora's twin sister as the rightful queen of the Omehi to, depose Siori because Siori wants peace. But yeah, and it just follows their follows the adventures that these guys go on, trying to deal with not only Odili and the rebels, but also with the native Zadines and all of the shit going down with them. And there is the greater mysteries of the call and everything that could potentially go wrong with that. As far as characters go, we have Tao, who is still dealing with vengeance and wanting his revenge. He also is in mourning for Zuri during this. Again, I'm trying to keep it pretty light on the Okay. I'm gonna go into spoilers from here on out. So if you don't want spoilers, I thought the book was pretty good. It definitely is setting up a lot of stuff. So there's my opinion for the non-spoilery stuff. Okay, everybody gone who doesn't want spoilers? Okay, so here we go with some of my thoughts on the more spoilery side of things, because I want to talk about some of the character dynamics and relationships here. So Tao is now Sayori's champion. Traditionally, the champion operates basically as husband for all intensive purposes and is the lover of the queen. So Sayori is definitely down to hook up with Tao, and they do end up kind of falling in love with each other by the end. I'm not sure how much of that I feel is really genuine. I mean, I don't know if Tao is just rebounding after Zuri or what. I mean, the way it develops is fine. Like, I can't say it's an invalid, like, I don't buy it relationship. It's definitely fine. But it was just one of those things that I was like, dude, you're over Zuri already? Real? Some of the other things that we get as interesting other couples in this is we get the big guy, Uduak, and Hadith are a confirmed couple in this. Which, there was a point where Hadith almost dies and Uduak is losing his shit over it, like, where is he? Is he okay? And I kind of was like, is this going where I think it's going, or is this just a brothers in arms kind of thing? Because this is feeling a bit more intimate than just he is my sword brother. No, you find out that they're actually a couple, and Tao is just oblivious. So I mean, that's not a shocker. So I thought that was kind of cool. The one thing that I wish Evan Winters had actually discussed in this is we don't find out what the Omehi's point of view on same-sex relationships are. It's never discussed, like, if it's something that is socially acceptable in their culture, or if it is something that's taboo. It's kind of just ignored. Like, Hadith and Uduak definitely are a couple, but I don't know how the society of the Omehi handles same-sex relationships. So that was something that I kind of wished had been explored a little bit more, but it wasn't. Tao doesn't care, but Tao is like, they're my sword brothers, whatever. But I was like, what's gonna go on with that? Like, is there some repercussions? I wanted more of Uduak and Hadith, because I honestly love them as a couple because Hadith is just the brilliant strategist and Uduak is the big guy who is literally he's the epitome of the strong silent type. Like he and Mori from Oron High School, or yeah, Mori, they would be best friends. Like they would just sit there and just like do the head nod and they would be best friends. So yeah, I wanted honestly some more of them. So there's also a few points in this where their original plan is at the end of book one, the Zadine give them a month reprieve in exchange for Kana, the head warlord's son, and they get a month. And the queen ends up there's quite a bit of, well, she has this lesser for champions. There's, of course, all the caste system politics of you're a lesser, and Tao basically just ending up flipping the middle finger to them and being like, I'm not going to pretend to be a highborn or a noble because you all are going to still treat me like crap, so screw you guys. I'm a lesser, deal with it. So they end up coming with a plan that they need to kill the warlord, hoping that that will fracture the Zadine apart, so that way, because he's kind of the glue that they think is holding together this alliance to take out the Omehi, but it does break their word. So Tao and his guys go on a stealth mission. They end up killing the warlord, but Kana sees this, and Kana is now out for full revenge on the Omehi and Tao in particular. So there is literally a point where they have to make the choice between going after Odili and going after Kana, who Kana has landed and he's, marching through. Well, you find out Kana set a trap and Tao falls right into it, and Kana goes and absolutely slaughters his entire hometown. Everyone is slaughtered, and it's a rough scene. The only person left alive is Tao's mother, and she's been blinded, and honestly, she's a bit of a ladder climbing bitch. Like, she has some serious resentment towards Tao, I felt, because of Eren and like how their relationship worked out and how it didn't really work out in the long run for her, and how she starts really fast social climbing based off of Tao's proximity now to the queen and everything. So I don't trust her. She's a schemer. So I put Mommy Dearest in a keep a close eye on category. The other thing with this, there was something else that I was going to say before. Oh, Jabari. Tao's childhood friend who came from the same village. I gotta talk about him real quick. He gets really, really badly burned at the end of book one. I mean, like, fully, like, engulfed in dragon fire. Like, it's a miracle he's alive. His body is just nothing but scars and everything that they think he's going to die. And literally at the beginning of the book, Tao sits down and just tells him everything. It kind of felt like a bit like a Previously On, where he just, like, expositions everything that happens. In book one, especially him killing Lacan, Jabari's older brother, and at the time, Tao doesn't think Jabari can hear him, but Jabari does hear him, so he's like, you killed my brother! So that, I didn't think it was going to come back up, but that does rear its ugly head, because they come up with a plan to take out Odili. They have to be able to protect the gifted in Unlaba. So the Tao comes up with the idea that he will train an elite squad of fighters to protect the gifted while they're in the underworld beyond when their shrouds would normally fail, so it will give them an edge over Odili, basically, that their chosen or their gifted can stay connected to the dragons for longer than what they normally would be able to do. Fair plan. The queen's really nervous about this because basically Tao is asking to make 6 more fighters like him, which will be insane. He does originally choose Kellen Okar to be in his group of elites, but you find out something really, really interesting about the Omehi. They are actually 2 different races. The nobles and the Omehi were actually back on whatever their home continent was. They were 2 individual groups of people. The Omehi were the ones that could actually have gifted. Their gifted had these, amazing powers. They could last the longest in it's Isiogel, not Unlaba. Isiogel. I'm sorry, I'm screwing up what the names are, but the underworld. They could stay in the underworld the longest out of all of the peoples on their home continent. When the call was coming to wipe them out, the queen of the Omehi went to the nobles and said, hey, if you don't work with us, the call is going to wipe us out, and then they're going to come for you. And there was this whole fight that happened, and she ends up getting the nobles on her side. The thing that you learn about the nobles that is critical is the reason why they are bigger and stronger and why they can be enraged is because they have a part of themselves always permanently in Unlaba. I'm pretty sure it's Unlaba. Yeah, Unlaba. Always drawing on the power there. That's why they can get bigger. That's why they're stronger. That's why they can be enraged. So I was like, all right, cool. Problem with that is that if Kellen tries to go into the underworld, he instantly takes true demon damage, and like he gets like almost killed by a demon. Like he gets his neck sliced up and he almost dies. So Kellen can no longer be a part of the squad, and he kind of gets shunted to the side for the rest of the book. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping we were going to get more Kellen. So Tao starts training this elite group to become his fighters, to become this great team, and they call themselves, when they actually start forging this unit, that they name themselves after Jayed. They are the Ayim. Because that was Jayed's last name was Jayed Ayim, so that's why they are the Ayim. That is their squad name, and that's why they are these elite super fighters. Circling back around to the whole point of this is that Tao asks Jabari to come and do this. So Jabari goes into the underworld, and in the underworld, he is whole. He is not injured. He is as he was before the accident, and he becomes this, works just as hard to become a great fighter, because when he's in the underworld, he doesn't feel the pain that his body experiences. So yeah, dude is like, yes, I will fight demons all day long if it means that I don't have to be in my body. So yeah, Jabari's in a rough place. So circling back around to after they go, Jabari and Tao, they go home, they see what Kana has done to their home. Jabari ends up challenging Tao to a fight, saying that he will fight him in the underworld, and if he kills Tao in the underworld, then he will kill him in real life because he wants revenge for Lacan. And Tao kind of calls him out on it, that your brother was awful, and he's like, but he was my brother, you're a lesser. And that's the thing, Jabari, yeah, he may have said Tao was his friend, but the dude still is very hard up on their caste system, that he will always view Tao as less than him. So they end up kicking each other's asses for a while, but Tao ends up winning, and Jabari said, I will challenge you again, and Tao's like, dude, just next time you feel like you're strong enough to do it, come at me, we'll just keep doing this until you beat me or one of us dies. So there's that. They do kind of work it out that they are still sword brothers, and it's not really an issue between them, but it's still kind of it's resolved but unresolved, that at some point in the future Jabari will try to challenge Tao again. So that's taken care of. So Tao says, all right, Sayori gives him the choice, like, if we need to chase Kana, we gotta go now. Tao is like, yeah, let's go get this guy. So they start hauling ass trying to get after Kana, because Kana is literally planning on just cutting his way through the Omehian Peninsula to try to get back to his home turf. So they're like, yeah, let's go after him, let's chase him, we gotta go now. So they start doing that, but then as they're doing this, they get a message saying that another general of like this really big fortress is moving towards the capital, because he hasn't said whose side he's on. He hasn't agreed that he's working with Odili, but he hasn't agreed to work with Sayori either. So they get this news that he's on the march to Palm City. That's where Odili is. And Sayori's like, hey, so if we don't go and like take out Palm City and Odili now, we are gonna lose. We have to give up on Kana. And Tao is like, revenge, because he wants revenge on Kana, but he also wants revenge on Odili. So they leave Kana and go to take off after Odili, and I was really disappointed by this, because I wanted to see that showdown between Kana and Tao. Like, I was really excited for this. Like, I was ready for this chase, this, like, you know, cat and mouse of them trying to get each other. Hadith was trying to come up with a plan of how they were going to maneuver Kana's army. It was really good, and then it just, no, we have to leave him. We've got to go take care of Odili. And I was like, why? So I was a little disappointed that Kana just got backburnered. So they haul ass back to Palm City. They try to siege it. That doesn't go well. And this is where you also meet Shiori's sister. You get some POV from her, and she is kind of crazy. But you find out it's because Shiori and her were both tested as very young children to see if they were gifted. Shiori was, her sister wasn't, and they kept sending her to Unlaba, to the underworld, to test to see if she had a shroud, till it literally broke her brain because they were sending a 6-year-old up into this world of demons, and the demons kept shredding her. Yeah, girl has a bit of a schizophrenic personality, some sort of split personality thing going on there, where there's like she calls it like her quiet voice. This is also where you start seeing the darker side of Shiori, and Shiori does this thing that I thought when we first met her, she refers to herself as we. And I thought at first she was using it in the royal sense, the royal we, as monarchs will do. No, girl literally thinks she speaks for the goddess. That, yeah, Shiori's a bit of a religious zealot, which I was like, ugh. Zealots can go a little far sometimes. So they try sieging Palm City. It ends up that they do end up taking the city, but Shiori is convinced that her sister wasn't a part of it. You find out that her sister totally was a part of it, and she wanted to her sister. I don't remember what her sister's name is, but the sister wanted to overthrow Shiori with the help of Odili, who is her lover, but they end up doing a basically battle of champions. The two queens will send their champions to do battle against each other and let the goddess decide who is the rightful queen. Well, the sister thinks that there's no way Odili's gonna lose. He's a noble. He can beat this lesser. Yeah, Tao kicks his ass. I mean, it is not even a challenge for Tao to kill this guy. It's actually a pretty sad scene because she does beg Tao to spare him, but Tao has already actually given Odili a fatal blow. She is devastated and ends up committing suicide by demon death, and Shiori is really torn up about it. And yeah, it wraps up with the Omehi are now back to being under Shiori as queen, and Shiori's plan is to try to still make, not peace anymore with the Zadine, but her whole plan is she wants to take the Omehi back to their home continent to try to stop the calling. But, well, guess what? Some Zadine shamans show up, and they talk to them, and they're like, hey, so these silver-skinned demons things are here. We don't all agree with Kana. We've got bigger fish to fry because, oh yeah, the call has come. So possibly the Omehin and the Zadine are going to have to start working together now? I don't know. It could be interesting to see what happens with the call, but I really don't know what that's going to do with Kana. I don't know. It felt a little scattered with its plot, so I don't know if Kana is going to be a threat that's going to have to be addressed really quickly at the beginning of book 3, and then we're going to focus on the call, or what's going to happen with it. I mean, overall, I still enjoyed it. I would still give Fires of Vengeance 4 out of 5. It's still very, very good, and I do recommend if you want a new and interesting take on high fantasy where it is an African perspective instead of European. I think this is a fantastic series. I still think you should go read it. Do give a warning though, it can be a little heavy on the gore sometimes, so fair warning for that. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you disagree with me, leave your comments down below, and I will talk to you guys in a little while.